Welcome to the Angel Mystic Podcast. I am super excited you are listening because this is where spiritually open minds can come together to explore the wonders of angels, spiritual connections, and the art of manifesting. Hosted by me, Amanda Tooke, the Angel Mystic, your spiritual midwife to help you on your journey to a fulfilling and happy life. You may have seen me on ITV, Channel 4, or even in Fate and Fortune magazine. In each episode, we will delve into the mystical world of angels, offering you insights, guidance, practical tools to deepen your connection with the upstairs so that you can find inner peace, happiness, joy, and create the life that you want. Tune in for weekly, fun conversations, transformational insights that will elevate your spiritual journey and awaken your inner mystic. Please hit subscribe now as we embark on a transformational adventure with the Angel Mystic Podcast. Welcome back to this week's podcast. It's all about talking about the top psychic powers. Now, I am going to start with an apology if you can hear any background noise. That is just simply because I put my washing machine on and didn't even think. So hopefully you won't hear it, but if you do hear it, that's what the noise is. But the reason I'm not going, oh, well, I'll just pause, is this is the second time I'm trying to record this podcast. I got halfway through and then I got a big interruption. So I have aborted it and started again another day. So we can't lose any more time on this one. We've got to deliver, otherwise we're going to miss our deadline. So let's delve into something a little bit more magical this week. And we're going to be talking about the top 5 psychic superpowers. And I wonder whether you have one of them already, because I don't want you to think that this is only for psychics or only for mediums, this podcast, this particular episode. This is for us all. We all have these abilities in some shape or form, and they're just part of your natural toolkit for spiritual connections. So a lot of people will have what I'm going to be talking about lying dormant within them, and when you start paying more attention and giving a little bit of practice to it, it will start to awaken. So for me, the way I think about psychic abilities, it's a way of perceiving energy, information beyond your 5 normal senses. Some people call them the clairs: clairvoyant, clairaudient, claircognizant, clairsentient. They are layers of awareness, I think it's fair to say. And today I want to share just the top 5, those 5 that we have said about. I want to share them with you because they may be misunderstood. So if you think that to have clairvoyance, you might think that you're going to see things really clearly. As clearly if you're watching me now on YouTube, as clearly as you can see across the room that you're in. Clairvoyance isn't that. And I think a lot of people want clairvoyance. I would say it's maybe the top clair that people want. But in this podcast today, you might realize that you've already got it and you just need to look at it differently. So get yourself comfy, be open-minded, and let's delve in. Before I actually do start discussing more about all of these 5 clairs, I do want to say that if this interests you, if you're thinking, yeah, I want to learn more about this, I have got a Halloween special, a witchy magic mystical training. I've never delivered this before. It is absolutely brand new. It's called Awaken Your Psychic Power. It's happening the 27th to the 30th of October, 7:30 each evening in a different group. It's in a pop-up group. Don't think it's in my usual free community group. And there is a replay if you can't make it live. So if you would like to take part in that free training, head over into show notes and sign yourself up. But for now, let's talk about the most common one, clairvoyance. And I know this comes with a little bit of knee knocking. People can be apprehensive of developing their clairvoyance. And I see this all the time in spiritual boot camp because do you know what? There is nothing scarier than, wanting to develop but not feeling safe to develop, not knowing how to open and close your chakras and being scared of seeing something that's going to like scare you half to death. I can remember years ago, we used to live in it was a very special house because it was on a ley line on a soul line and there was a lot of spirit activity. And I can remember waking or like sort of being half asleep, realizing somebody had sat on the end of my bed. Now, I was not scared it was spirit. I was more scared somebody had broken into my house. And I would love for you to have that relationship with spirit, with the upstairs, that you have no fear as well, because fear will always block your development. So clairvoyance, is seeing spirit, but it is also like things like you're about to leave the house and you get a mental image that you need to take your umbrella and you pop it, into your bag and you go about your day. And then even though the weather forecast said it was not going to rain, you felt you needed your umbrella. And lo and behold, when that cloud burst, you had your umbrella and you think, oh my goodness, you know, such a, good thing that I remembered that umbrella. But did you remember it or were you actually given that as a symbol, as a sign in your mind's eye? Because clairvoyance can be in your mind's eye and it can be also, physically in front of you. So when we're thinking about clairvoyance, we need to think about it is clear seeing. So it might be receiving messages in the thought in the form of mental images, symbols, shapes, colours, visions, dreams. This is all clairvoyance. It is seeing things. It's like sometimes it can be like watching a little mini movie in your mind, and other times it can be flashes of pictures that carry a meaning. You might see something and you translate it into something that makes complete sense to you. I hope this is making sense because it's actually quite hard to describe how I personally know clairvoyance to be, because it's far more than just seeing an apparition of, your ascended master or a spirit guide or something like that. All of these clairs that we're talking about can be received in so many different ways. So yes, you might get symbols, you might get full images, but it is still clairvoyance. And I think there is a misconception, particularly if you go to demonstrations, mediumship demonstrations, and somebody stood on stage and they're delivering messages from spirit and they're going, I can see this man and he's got, graying hair and a walking stick. Or they might even say it with clairaudience as well. Yes, spirit is saying to me, and you're thinking this person in front of you is got like this image in their mind, and they may well have it. They absolutely may well have it. And they may well be hearing spirit as well. But equally, it might be that they are just receiving that vibration and translating it into something that makes more sense when they work as a transmitter, when they are receiving that information. So for me, my clairvoyance was particularly, it was incredible to be fair when I was young. Before I shut myself down, I saw spirit as clearly as I saw people. Sometimes I couldn't tell the difference between people and spirit. And that was scary as a child. And I shut myself down. I also used to see things at night, like when I was going to sleep, and there would be faces just arriving in my room, sort of like in my mind's eye. So because of that fear, I shut it all down. Now, in later life, I've been teaching this for 15 years, but probably about 20 years ago, when I opened myself back up personally, I don't see as clearly but it doesn't mean I'm any less connected. The reason I'm sharing that is because if you're not seeing, it doesn't mean that you are any less connected, because there's so many other ways to connect. So don't give yourself a hard time, because I know I see this all the time. People are comparing themselves and they're wanting to be as clairvoyant as they think other people are. Well, you don't really know what's going on in that person's head and how are they receiving things in the way that they are describing it. So cut yourself a little bit of slack if you're wanting to develop these clairs, and know whatever you are receiving is absolutely perfect for you. So I sort of hinted on it before, clairaudience, and again, this is clear hearing, where you get guidance. It might be words, it might be sounds, it might be phrases. It could even be like a counseling voice, like it could even be music, the words within music. That's all clairaudience. And it can be subtle and it can be powerful, but it feels like it's answering a question. That's probably a good indicator. And clairaudience as well, it might be that you are worrying about a decision. You're in two minds, you're humming and hawing, and you're in the middle of doing the dishes or something like that. And in your head, you hear, like, wait, stop, don't rush in, something like that. And that's not just your anxious mind shouting, because there's a difference between anxiety and, your ego just trying to keep you safe, and messages from spirits. Those words that you hear will sound different. It might sound in a different voice. It might feel different, but it will feel calm and steady. It won't feel sort of fear-based. And later on, when you do stop or you wait or you hold fire in whatever your decision was, you will realize that that's come from something bigger and greater than you. And clairaudience, is, like I said before, it isn't about just hearing, like you can hear me now. It could also be like a voice of counseling within your head. I can remember one of my clients, she was driving down the motorway in the car on her own, in what I would call the fast lane, and she heard slow down, pull over, and she slowed down and pulled over because this voice sort of startled her. She didn't know where it come from. And as she got into the slow lane, her tire blew and she was able to get over onto the hard shoulder. That is clairaudience. Clairaudience is also so I'm pausing, trying to describe it in a really helpful way to you. Clairaudience is also music. So where you put the radio on and the song comes on and the words mean something to you. That is clairaudience as well. The next one I'm going to talk about is a really common one. It's clairsentient. And clairsentience is clear feeling. Clairsentience is probably the most common one by far. It's the ability to sense energy in your own body, maybe in auras, maybe in rooms, in environments, emotions for other people. You will be able to tell whether it's yours or somebody else's. You can walk into a room and you can notice an atmosphere. You can meet your friend and there's something up with them. That's clairsentience. You know something before anyone has even spoken. You are sensing it. So it might be as well, this is a really good one because if you meet somebody new, you know whether they're a goodie or a baddie before you even, get into anything with them. You might get a heavy feeling in your stomach, something just feels off, or they just like prickle you in some sort of way. And, your gut feeling will be right. That is clairsentience. And there's one that goes with it, which is claircognizance. Clairsentience, claircognizance, I feel like they really do interlink well. And claircognizance can be a little more tricky because it's so natural, just because you're probably doing it without you even realizing it. but you know things without any logical explanation. No clue. You know if your phone's on the other side of the room and it rings and you can't see your caller display, you know who's on the other end of that call. This is claircognizance. It's knowing something without any logical explanation. I can't speak. Logical explanation. That information sort of just drops into your mind and you just know things. You just know things. And is it just a thought, or is it in reality something much deeper, like your strongest psychic superpower? It's an unshakable feeling, claircognizance. It's that deep knowing. It's like when you get to a junction and you've got two ways that you could go to go home. That's something that I personally always do. I just tune in. Which way do I need to go? I will feel that feel it, know it, trust it, and I act upon that every day. This makes decision making so much easier. Now, there is some more. There's one for smelling, clairalience, clairgustance for tasting. These are less common, but you can get beautiful smells. You can get smells. Angels are usually beautiful smells. Spirit are generally nasty smells. You might get the smell of smoke if somebody used to smoke when they were here. That is another way of connecting. And taste as well. You might get the taste of something and it reminds you, maybe peppermints of your grandfather or, Werther's original, that sort of thing. Those things can happen. But these are all your superpowers. And you don't have to pick one. You may have a more dominant one that you rely on more, that you can feel more comfortable with working with in everyday life. And it is about working with it in everyday life. It isn't just about if you're doing psychic things. The more you work with these skills, the stronger they become. And it helps with your connections with your angels, with your guides, with your loved ones in spirit, but also just with life. So what can you do to strengthen them? Well, obviously you can come and join my training, which we spoke about earlier, and I really hope you decide to do that because honestly, I'm excited to deliver this. It's new, it's going to be awesome. But yourself, you can meditate because meditation quiets the mind. You never can totally still it. Don't fall into the trap of thinking, your mind's got to be still and not doing anything. Your mind can't do that. But you can quiet your mind so you can hear messages and experience messages and feel messages because it isn't just about hearing and allowing them to come through more clearly. You can keep a journal which helps you join up the dots so you can make your notes of your signs, your images, your feelings, your knowingness that you receive. And you can ask your angels and your guidance and your angels for guidance even. This is all going to help. And of course, the obvious one is practice. The more you practice these gifts, these skills, the better and the sharper they become. And there is exercises that you can do to do that. So these are the top 5 psychic powers. I know I threw a couple of extras in on the end, but which one do you recognize in yourself? Which one do you think, oh, yeah, I do that? Maybe you've had flashes of clairvoyance. Maybe you just have this deep knowing without explanation. What is wrong with me today? I can't speak. I don't know. But whatever it is, grow it, expand upon it. You don't need to force it. They unfold naturally as you give some time, energy, and trust to the connection that you have. And like I say, invite your angels in to help you because they help with absolutely everything. If this has resonated with you today, I please ask you to share it whilst I prepare the cards for the guidance for the coming week and see what our angels want us to know. Okay. Well, I've got to tell you, it's all about you this week. Oh, yes. And rightly so. Within my group coaching that I'm running at the moment, Soul Mastery, I'm really talking about how it's okay to prioritize yourself. It is okay to give yourself what you need. It's okay to be greedy with the things that you need. We are taught not to be greedy, and I think it's time we reverse that, because the more you fill yourself up, the more you have for other people. And Monday's card is all about that. Monday's card is all about you. It's about doing things for you, putting yourself top of the list for once, and it will be for once for lots of you. Also look out for messages in cloud formation. That is pictures in the sky. Last week was incredible for that. Sat in my office, I could just see, like, literally, it was like a slideshow going past my window of so many different things and messages. I felt so supported and guided by seeing those. The second card is for Tuesday. It's the issues card. We had the U card for Monday, prioritize yourself. This is going to ruffle some feathers. Some people won't like that you're doing that because they're so used to you looking after them in such a great way that they're going to feel a little bit rejected. But you've got to remember that's their issue and not yours. So continue with prioritizing yourself and maybe step back a little from others and allow them to solve their own things rather than running into rescue. Because we only rescue because we want to feel needed, we want to feel worthy, we want to feel good enough. It's a whole thing, but make sure that you're sort of capping yourself off from doing that. On Wednesday, we've got the happiness card, because that's what's going to happen when you take into account what we've talked about for Monday or Tuesday. You're going to find a lot more happiness. Happiness is your fuel for manifesting, and happiness is an inside job. It is not, I'll be happy when I've moved house. I'll be happy when I've changed my car. I'll be happy when I've got that new relationship. You've got to choose to be happy right now. So make sure you do that and ask yourself, what would make me happy? And make that your priority for your manifesting list. On Thursday, we've got Archangel Michael. Michael, of course, is one of the most popular guardian angels. Well, he's an archangel, to be fair, but he helps cut cords of attachment. So what are you needing to cut cords of attachment with that are no longer serving you? That is your mission, should you choose to accept it for Thursday. And when you do, come Friday, you can have far more focus on the things that you want, that you have been unearthing and discovering this week, because it feels like this is all overdue. This is so, so overdue. But put your focus on the things that you want. And we know the saying, sleep on it. I'm going to sleep on it, because it's going to bring a lot of stuff up. This feels like it's a very revealing and transformational week. As we move into the weekend, there's going to be a question that you've been asking, and you need to sleep on it. You need to sleep on it and ask your angels to guide you as you're sleeping and get your messages via your dreams. The key to understanding your messages via your dreams is always understanding how they make you feel. So that is your thing for Saturday. And as we go into Sunday, here it is. It's the decision card. So you will find your answers. It might be that you need to take yourself out into nature. It might be that you need to go within and go into meditation. But your answers are there. Go forth and find them, because you'll need them for the coming week. That's our guidance for this week. Look out for your messages in cloud formation. Look out for your little white feathers, and look out for a little bird coming particularly close to you. Pay attention to those dreams. That is it for today. Please like, please review, please share, do whatever you can do to let more people know that they have angels too. And I hope to see you on the free psychic training. Bye for now. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If so, please hit follow and share my message by sharing with your friends. It would be amazing if you can leave a review. All this will help, and it activates the universal law of the more you give, the more you receive. So it's a win-win. You can find more good stuff between episodes over on social media. Just search The Angel Mystic on Facebook, Instagram or TikTok, or check out the links in the show notes. I'd love for you to connect more. over in my free group in Abundance Manifesting, all on Facebook. Hope to see you there.